Okay, well, grade 9s, welcome. Okay. I forget which cohort it is at home, actually. It's been a long weekend, and so, listen, this is basically our last lesson. Next time I see you on Wednesday, you who are at home, which, like I said, I forget which cohort it is, whether it's A or B, but anyway, you guys are at home today. Yeah, listen. Next time I see you is going to be the last time I see you. We're just going to have a little kind of open book quiz, and open book just means you can have like examples of problems and stuff like that with you. You just have to do it by yourself, just to finish off the light thing, and that's it. Okay, I've marked your mirror equation, or your mirror word quiz that you wrote last week. So this is just sort of to finish it off. Okay. Listen, I don't have a lot for you today, just a little bit. I just want to wrap up everything, and that's it. Okay, so listen, we've been talking about the thin lens equation, and we've been talking about lenses. Okay, so just a little recap of what you need to know for the quiz. Okay, and what you can bring with you if you want, like if you want to have some notes. Okay, so basically this is how you draw ray diagrams with a convex lens. Okay, there are 3 rules. Rule number 1 is the black line, a ray parallel to the principal axis, goes through the focal point on the other side of the lens. Rule 2, okay, is the opposite rule, a ray through the secondary focus in front of the lens goes parallel to the principal axis. And rule number 3, a ray that goes down the middle, you can see the green line there. A ray that goes down the middle of the lens just keeps going straight. And that's it. And where these rays meet, as usual, is where the image is formed. And everything's kind of similar to mirrors, but a little bit backwards now. If the image is behind the lens, then it's real, it's inverted, and so on. And if the image is in front, then it's upright and virtual. Okay, and we did do some examples of how you do that. Okay, so you need to know how to draw these things. And I'll tell you what, I'll do you a favor, because like we're rushed for time and everything, we're only going to do the converging lens, not the diverging lens. So we won't do the it's kind of the equivalent of the convex mirror. We won't do the concave lens, okay? Just the convex one. So just this one for the ray diagrams for the quiz. That'd be great. Okay. Also, you should know, we did a little lab. I'm going to do it with the other cohort on Monday, but you guys did this on Friday. You don't need to hand in the lab or anything like that. I don't want to stress you out, okay? I only have a day left with you. The whole point of it was just to have a little fun, to actually see how it works with a real light source and a real screen and a real lens. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that, but don't worry about the write-up so much. Okay, I would like you, you don't even need to put this in your homework. Okay, so don't worry about it, because you have a quiz to get ready for, so let's just focus on that. Okay. All right, now we also talked about converging lenses. So all you have to be able to draw on here is the ray diagrams for the converging ones. So you can ignore these diverging ones. That's not going to be on the quiz. You got to save a few things for grade 10, of course. Okay, so that's it. Now I would like you to know the equation. You don't have to memorize the equation at all. And like I said, it's an open book test, right? So you'll be able to just... Oh, my computer just rebooted, my other computer, that is. Oh no, somebody's printing something. Never mind. Okay, so you'll be able to just have the equation will be given to you, and you just need to how to use it, okay? But you can look at examples if you want. It's no problem, because it's open book. So you should be able to answer these questions, okay? If you like, before we do a quiz, we can take a few questions up. Sorry, just hang on a second. Okay, apologies. The printer, someone opened the printer tray and somebody's trying to print, so. Okay, so yeah, make sure you can use the thin lens equation. So there's the equation there, and it shouldn't be a problem for you, okay? I'm sorry, that printer is really loud. All right, well, there's one more thing that I'm going to put on the quiz. Sorry, just let me put this out. All right. One more thing I'm going to put on the quiz. And I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to talk about this a little more, but I'm going to talk about it with my grade, the other cohort tomorrow. It's just the anatomy of the eye. Now, this is going to be really easy for you. I'm going to maybe have a couple of questions on the quiz on this, but you can have this page for reference. So this is, look, it's easy, okay? So normally I get students to memorize it, but I'm trying to, we'll finish on an easy note for you. Yeah, like, so if I ask you to label a diagram like this, but you have one, yeah, maybe we'll see how I do that. Yeah, it's kind of like a bonus, right? But anyway, it's too bad we didn't get a chance to look at the anatomy of the eye or dissect an eye. Here's a drawing of an eyeball for you. It's really quite an amazing little piece of equipment that you have in your head here, okay? These two eyes that you have. So here you can see the various parts. The iris is actually the colored part of the eye, okay? The cornea is kind of the very front of the eye. It's transparent. It does act like a diverging lens element, okay? The pupil is just a little opening, so it's that sort of black circle at the center of the colored part of the eye that everyone sees. That's just actually an aperture where the light passes through. This structure in here, the lens, is a really cool little object there. It's a flexible material. It's able to get skinny or get sort of fat, okay? And depending on whether you're focusing on something near or something far away. Yeah, I mean, there are muscles here called the ciliary muscles that control the lens, okay? And that's really quite an amazing thing, the way that works. The retina at the back of your eye is where the sensory cells are located, the rods and cones, okay? And the rods and cones are for color, like red, green, and blue, okay, color. And rods are for black and white, okay? But they're sensitive in dim light. Okay, so when you're using your night vision, for example, you're using more of your rods, and that's why you don't see color as well at night as you do during the day. Okay, anyway, here I have little paragraphs on what these things do. Normally I make the students fill it in, but I'm doing it for you because we don't have time, okay, for you to figure this out. So like, I'm just going to give it to you. Iris is the colored part. It has muscles that can make the pupil larger or smaller. Yeah, it's really cool how it works. You know, when you step outside, your eyes will accommodate to brighter light by shrinking the size of the pupil down, letting less light in. Okay, if you've ever had your pupils dilated by eye drops and they stay dilated when you walk outside, you'll find it very bright. Okay, anyway, especially if it's sunny outside or something like that. The pupil is just an aperture. Okay, we talked about that. That's what you allow light to enter into your eye. The lens is designed for focusing, okay? So actually the problem, if you need glasses, when you're young usually, is we want the light to focus on the retina. Okay, so that's a normal eye, how it works. But if you have myopia, which means you are nearsighted, and that's why you're wearing glasses, then what's happening is your eyeball is focusing something like this. So in other words, it's focusing too strongly, okay? The light gets over-focused, and so it focuses in front. See, we need that intersection of the rays to meet at the back of the eye where the sensors are, but it's focusing the information in front of the retina, and so it appears out of focus. So that's your myopic eye. Okay, that's how that works. All right, so the cornea It helps to protect the eye, and also, pardon me, it also helps to focus as well, by the way. In fact, when you take laser eye surgery, they change the shape of the cornea, this transparent layer right here. And by changing the shape, they can adjust the focusing of the light, and that will fix your myopic eye or whatever the case may be. Okay. All right then. So on the retina is where the sensory cells are. Okay, rods and cones. This should say cones. Pardon me. That's my typo. And that's it. Okay. Now I did want you to look up a couple of things. Myopia. Okay. So if you could just Google it and write in the definition. Myopia is really easy to understand. That's overfocusing. That's the problem you have if you're wearing glasses and you're 15 or 14 years old. You probably, every single one of you that requires glasses at that age that I've met, I think, in the class, and that I've ever met, all the kids I've taught over the hundreds of years I've been teaching, okay, whenever they need glasses, it's always myopia. In other words, they can't see the board or whatever without them. Okay. Presbyopia is the opposite problem. It's when you need glasses to read. Now, in young people, it's called presbyopia if it happens. Now, it's rare, but I've seen it a couple times. Hyperopia is what happens to, or sorry, I've got it backwards. Presbyopia is the one you get when you age. So this one is you need glasses. Oh, I'm sorry. My tablet's going crazy here. You need reading glasses, but this one is due to age, if it'll let me do this without getting all weird. And this one is due to the shape of the eye. This one happens to everyone as they age, but the shape problem is congenital, which means you're born with it. And this one is quite rare. So those of you who, my son, one of my boys, has needed glasses since he was very small. And he's myopic though, not hyperopic. So hyperopia is when you need glasses to read. He doesn't need glasses to read, but he needs them for distance, which is pretty much universally the case with young people. This one is extremely common. Okay. This one, though, is quite rare for young people. Okay. Now here, age-related presbyopia happens to pretty much everyone. Except not me yet, but you know, I'm that sort of miracle guy, right? All right, color blindness is kind of neat too. Color blindness is, you know, I could actually show you something here with that. Let's see if this works. Let me call up the keyboard. Color blind test. Okay, now if I show you some images here. All right, color blindness. So if you look at these like swatches of color, you know, for example, this first circle on the top left that you see over here, I'm just sort of got my hovering my thing over it. Do you see the number 13 there? Okay, now if you can't see the number 13, it means you're colorblind. Okay, so this one here is the number 13. Okay. That's kind of my April Fool's joke there, guys. Okay, no. Yeah, if you actually could not see this number in here, which is a 12, by the way, if you couldn't see a 12, then that would be red-green color blindness. Now, some of these are quite difficult to read, to be honest with you, but yeah, I mean, give it a shot. You should see the number 10 here. Just kidding. 42. Okay, 74, and so on. Okay, yeah, and there's an 8 and a 6, but they are, some of them, difficult to read. Okay, and some of them are the same. Like this one is very similar to that one over there. Okay, and here's your 74. Your, you know, sort of green on red instead of red on green. Yeah, you have cones in your eye that are responsible for seeing green, and then there's other cones for red, and there's other cones for blue. Okay, and that allows you to see the full spectrum. Okay, that's another red queen with the cow here. Colorblind test. They're kind of cool. They're kind of pretty. I don't know. Something about them. So anyway, there you go. Colorblindness could be an issue with the receptors, or it could be a brain problem, like your brain is not interpreting the colors correctly. But yeah, that's it. Lots of animals tend to have some degree of color blindness. Their color vision just in general is quite poor, actually. Okay, and some animals we think are basically colorblind just by the virtue of not having very many cones in their retina, whereas humans have a fairly high percentage of cones for seeing color. All right then. So that's basically it. So a little talk on color blindness. This is when, you need glasses to read. So I'm just filling it in for you to save you some time. So that is called nearsightedness. No, sorry. It's called farsightedness. Some people who need glasses to read don't need glasses for distance, so we call it farsightedness. Really, what it means is you can't see near very well. Myopia is nearsightedness. It means you don't need glasses to read, but you need them for distance vision. So if you can't see my smartboard, the writing on the smartboard, with your natural eyesight, okay, sitting at the back of the class, that is myopia. Okay, and that's extremely common. Lots of people have it. All right then. So that's it, guys. I mean, I don't want to stress you out too much. So, I had a couple of pictures for you here. So check it out. That's actually, it looks kind of nasty, but that's a real eyeball. Okay, and the retina, look how it's kind of black in places here. It's got this bluish color at the back. Look at the lens. Look at that thing. Okay, this sort of blob right here. That's the lens. I'm sorry, I'm sure this is not the natural color of some of the tissue in here. Here you can very clearly see the cornea. This area, this region in here, is the sort of the only part of the body that we see a view, like we can see that. But if you touch it, it's live cells in there. Okay, like your skin, you touch your skin, that's all dead. Those cells, okay, are all dead. But the cornea, just this outer layer of the body, okay, at the eyeball, that is live tissue and transparent normally. I know it's a little cloudy here. Here you can see muscles that are responsible for looking around. Okay, that's some of this tissue you're seeing at the back here. Like in this, whoop, I'll drop that in this area over here. Just gonna erase that. And then, the optic nerve is not attached here or has been removed or cut or something like that. Here's a picture, a little bit of a nicer picture of the retina at the back of the eye. Blood vessels to feed all those sensory cells. You have 120 million sensory cells in your retina. So those cameras that say 50 megapixel and stuff, you've got you've blown that away with your eyes. Okay, you've got 120 million sort of sense cells at the back of your eye. Now your brain can't listen to all that information all at once, so it's kind of complicated how the brain sees the information. It only gets about 10% of it at a time from the eyeball, but there's so much data there. Okay, that's so cool how it works. Anyway, so that's it. I wanted to finish on something kind of nasty. Get a picture of the eyeball. Unfortunately, we won't get to dissect it this year because we don't have any more time. Okay, so on the test on Wednesday for you, just keep in mind the following. 1, you're going to be tested on lenses, drawing the ray diagrams for the convex lens. 2, you're going to be tested on using the thin lens equation, so make sure you get that. And then finally, number 3, tested on the eyeball. Now, you get to have this reference. So, I mean, it's just a simple matter of reading it and you don't have to memorize it or anything. It's just kind of a bonus on the quiz. And that's all. All right, guys. Well, it has been a pleasure. I'll get to see you one last time I know you're going to miss me, but hey, there's always next year. Actually, by the time I get to see you again in grade 11, probably won't teach you in grade 10, but grade 11, by the time that happens, who knows though, with the pandemic, who knows what I'll be teaching next year. I don't know, but very likely if things are any sense of normal, like I'll probably get the new grade 9s next year. Okay, and I won't see you again until grade 11, but hopefully by then, things will be back to normal. Okay, so guys, I will see you on Wednesday. We'll have one last little quiz. Please bring my physics textbooks back if you haven't already. Okay, and then we'll wrap things up on Wednesday. Mr. Brash has sent me the marks. I have not yet had a chance to input them yet. I will do that as soon as I can. And otherwise, have a good day, and I will see you tomorrow. All right. Bye-bye.